and welcome to this session of how to utilize the power of your mind to get what you want. Now, we're going to cover a lot today, and I'm not even sure which order I'm going to cover it, but we will move through it regardless. So we're now talking about the mind, the power of your mind. We talked about mindset. You may have seen videos of me referring to mindset and how important it is. Now, it's not just the mindset. We're going to talk a little bit more about how the subconscious mind works and how to get the most out of it. But it's not just about mindset, it's about building a wealth and prosperity mindset. That's what this is leading to. So in order for you to achieve your financial goals, if they're wealthy, wealthy ambition, you need to develop a prosperity, wealthy mindset. And that is what I Am Rich and Wealthy.com is all about. Now, a lot of people, this is a very misunderstood subject, and it's going to take me some time to really start from the very beginning. So in order to help you understand, we're talking about why things happen the way they do for most people. And most people want certain things to happen, but it doesn't always happen the way they want it to happen. And usually completely the opposite of the way they want it to happen. And there's a reason why, especially when it comes to accumulating money or accumulating wealth. And that's because the mind is divided into two sections, two parts. Okay. The first part of the mind, the part which is most people are familiar with, is called the conscious mind. The second part is the unconscious part of the mind. Now, the conscious mind is what you use to do your most of the daily things when you interact with people, you talk, you drive, you do various different things, tasks, work tasks, you look after your children. You do a lot of these things, tasks, you eat and so on, all with your conscious mind. But there's a lot of things that are done with your unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind is the most powerful part. It's the deciding factor. And how that unconscious mind of yours or of ours is programmed determines what you'll get out of life. Now, it is programmed whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, okay? Because from the day you were born, it was taken in various impressions of your surroundings, your environment, okay? So your subconscious mind is like a computer, and it's always learning, always gathering information, and it's making evaluations. And then it spits out, it basically tries to control your environment, your external environment, to fit what it has been given over time. It works very hard to do that. Your subconscious mind, and what we're going to talk about here are basic reprogramming techniques and why they work and why they don't work for other people. Why people who have done various so-called personal development techniques and they don't get the results. This is the most important part, which is coming later. But just because there are all kinds of people listening here, some of you know about the subconscious mind personal development already, some of you don't, so I'm have to start from the beginning. Now, the subconscious mind, there's a barrier between the conscious and the subconscious mind. So now that barrier can be broken down. It can actually be removed with advanced techniques, but there's a barrier anyway. And it takes, let me just share my screen. And I'm going to be going in and out my screen share. What's this thing called? This little board here. So if you look at and think of the mind, let's get a pen. I think that would do, yes. This is not a very good picture of the mind, but here's the mind here. Right, let's assuming that's the mind, okay? You've got a barrier. Okay, let's just assuming this was the front of the head. There's the nose, and there's the mouth, and there's the eyes. See, not have to be an artist here. So you've got the conscious part of the mind, the conscious part, and then you've got the unconscious part or the subconscious part. Excuse my writing. All right, so there is a little bit of a, I would say a little, well, it's a big barrier actually, to be honest with you. Okay, and it's, you know, it's a barrier. And you got things coming in through your, what we call your five senses, okay? Things that you hear, things that you see. This is not the ears, by the way. This means conscious. People might think this is the ears. It's meant to mean conscious mind. I should have put conscious. So consciousness. Anyway, right. Not the perfect writing with this pen, but never mind. So this, so what we're talking about, things come into through your subconscious mind, through your conscious mind, sorry, and get embedded in your subconscious mind. And then your subconscious mind, you know, reflects what's in it, okay, out to your surroundings. So your surroundings, everything you see around you is as a result of what has gone in directly or indirectly into your subconscious mind over time. Could be things that have gone in over the last few days, but mostly it's things that have gone in to your subconscious mind over the years as you were brought up. Things that you've learned, things that you learned from your parents, family, or whoever brought you up. You have a lot of family lessons from them that you've taken in, and you say, yep, this is my reality. And things, your work, your friends, you say your five closest friends, the people that will determine your income, your income level will be determined by your five closest friends. So if you look around and see this person's earning 50K a year, this person's earning 50K a year, this other person's earning 50K a year, this other 50K or 60K a year, whatever, you're going to have a kind of an in-between somewhere like that. And you'll say, well, this is where I fit in. And so if you really want to increase your income, you probably need to get around a different circle of friends, or develop a different circle of friends if you want to hit a high income. Anyway, so this is a very crude picture. However, I want you to concentrate on the understanding here, the concept. Another concept is to understand. And so most people think that the conscious mind is really the mind and that controls everything. And everything that's in the conscious mind is what determines everything. No, the subconscious mind is much bigger. And I know you don't have a head like that. It's just an example. But the subconscious mind is much bigger than in fact, here's a great example of what the conscious, between the conscious and subconscious mind. It can be likened to this, right? An iceberg. You see, an iceberg, most people, when they travel on boats or whatever, they go to in the Arctic or to see an iceberg, they only see this part, the tip of the iceberg. They don't see all of this area underneath. This is just an example of, you know, I just pulled it out from Google. But this is what the mind is like. Your conscious mind is this, just the tip of the iceberg. Your unconscious mind is all this. And if you can get to control your subconscious mind by passing the right messages to it, you can have anything you want in life. All right? To the extent that you're able to pass information to it. Because it's very big and it's very powerful. It will move heaven and earth to make you achieve your goals. If this is an alignment with this, the problem with most people is that they have their conscious mind wishing for something and their unconscious mind going in the opposite direction. Okay, back to my wonderful drawing here. Okay, what most people have is the conscious mind going in this direction and the subconscious mind going in this direction. You understand? So they end up not getting what they want, and the subconscious mind will always win. You can never outperform your subconscious mind. Your self-image is stored in your subconscious mind. How you see yourself, what you believe you're worth, what you truly believe you're worth. In the conscious, you can lie and say, I believe I'm worth £1 million, But if in your subconscious mind, you believe it's written somewhere in there that you're only worth a fraction of that, you know, £1,000 or 20,000 pounds, then you'll only be worth that. And you'll never be able to possess that amount of money. And even if you did possess that amount of money, you will lose it. Your subconscious mind acts like a thermostat, and it will see to it, it will create circumstances to bring you back to the level of what is written in your subconscious mind. That is why people that win the lottery, many of them are broke 5 years later. Okay, because what's written in their subconscious mind is poverty. I do not deserve this money. You understand? And therefore the subconscious mind will, your wishes, you know, say your wishes might come on. So understand one thing about the subconscious mind. It is a brilliant, it's a fantastic servant. It's a good servant, but it's a very bad master. It's a good servant, but it's a very bad master. So if you want to learn to master it, you need to be the master of your subconscious mind, not it the master of you. If you master your subconscious mind, it will be an incredible servant and give you anything you want. Now, like I said, the way, you know, the subconscious mind has been, like I said, hasn't been impressed upon, okay, over the years by all the things that impressions that you take in. So think of a computer, they say, you know, they say garbage in, garbage out. Old computer joke or jargon that they say. Now think of this: to control a computer, you need a keyboard and a mouse. Well, the computer of your mind, to control it, you can actually control it through your 5 senses. So whatever comes in through your 5 senses, things that you see, hear, smell, feel, things that you say, these things are recorded in your subconscious mind. So you have to be very careful what you see, what you hear, what you say, where you spend your time, what you look at, what you read, what you watch on television. All these kind of things, television, are very powerful tools for influencing your subconscious mind. And a lot of people watch terrible stuff on television and they wonder why some of that reflects in their life. So I'm not saying you shouldn't watch television, but be careful what you watch and how much of it you watch. Now, we're talking about developing wealth. So number one, understand also, number one, I don't know what number we're on, doesn't really matter. Understand another point is that your subconscious mind is always listening. It never sleeps. Your subconscious mind works 24/7. Okay? All right? Subconscious, I get that wrong. Subconscious mind never sleeps. Okay, it's always listening and learning. Okay, always. And it doesn't like to change. Does not like change. Okay, but if mastered, can give you anything you put into it. Okay, so you don't get what you want, you get what you put into your subconscious mind. That's what you get. You could want a nice house for all your life. If you don't put it into the subconscious mind, if your desire only gets to your conscious mind, okay, the tip of the iceberg, it will never reaches down to the subconscious mind. Your desire, I want a house, and that desire and wish is up here. It will never get, and it never gets down here. You will never get it. And if you do get it, you will lose it. That's what the subconscious mind will do, because it will put you back into the house that is in here. Whatever's in here is what it will drive to. And it might be immediate, it might be over several months, it might be over a year, it depends. But it will eventually get you back to what is in here, because its job is to fulfill what is in the subconscious part of the mind. Its job is to fulfill the picture that is in here. That's its job. And it's there to protect you, by the way, just that we use it wrongly. So we all have this divine gifted equipment and we don't use it. Or most people don't use it effectively. They don't, and it ends up working against them. So we want to, so basically you want to learn how to program your mind. And this is a law. This is a law of the universe. It's not optional. It's not down to debate. Okay, it's not a democracy here. It's not down to debate. This is a law. And if you learn to use the law, you can use it for you. If you don't, it will work against you. But the law is there nevertheless. And people in modern times, they call it different things. The modern terminology now is law of attraction. The thing is, you are always, your law of attraction is a law that means you are always attracting what is in your subconscious mind. So some people say, oh, I don't apply it, I don't understand how to do the law of attraction. Well, you know what? Look around, whatever's in your life has been attracted to you, both positive and negatively. So you're currently doing the law of attraction. Just that most people are saying, well, I don't want that. I don't want that. So, well, that means they've been doing the law of attraction the wrong way. They've been applying it wrongly. So, but it is nevertheless a law. So it's influenced by things that, and yeah, many things could be passed on from parents. I'm not saying your parents are bad. Lovingly, your parents lovingly wanted to protect you. That maybe that's the only amount of financial income they're able to achieve. Doesn't mean they were bad. Just that they probably reprogrammed by their parents and so on and so forth. So, but the thing is, you can break the cycle. You could be the first person in your family to be rich. It doesn't have to say, oh, my parents were poor, their parents were poor before them, therefore I must be poor. Not necessarily true, okay? I'm not saying your parents were poor, I'm just saying you can break the cycle if you learn to control this, okay? If you learn to control your subconscious mind and the subconscious mind, you learn to control that. It's a better picture. You can control your income level. And that's all the more important when we talk about investing and so on, because if you don't control it, like I said, if we just give you a strategy to create wealth through investing, if you have a poverty mindset, okay, if you have a poverty mindset in here, if it's programmed to poverty, no matter what money you make, you will lose it. You may not even make it. It will work for some others, but not for you. And that's why a lot of people think, other people, they see things that some people excel in certain things and others just don't, because they're programmed differently. It's not the opportunity, it's not the strategy, it's the person. I say this a lot, it's not the opportunity, it's not the strategy, the investment, it's the person. So we need to correct the person, build up the person, and they get the great results. And that's what, that's what you're going to be working on while you're implementing your strategy. So there are many instances even in holy books, and this is not about religion. This is just instances mentioned, and I can't mention all the different instances where this law is being applied. And some people read holy books for religious purposes, and some can read them and get some, facts and truths and inspirational ideas from them. And I've gone through quite a few of the different holy books, and a lot of these stories signify and talk about this. But I'll recite a couple of things, and I'm familiar with some more than others. But and I'm not a scholar. I don't even know what chapter or verses they are in. But this concept goes back, thousands and thousands of years, and nothing has changed. So long as you are human beings, as long as our blood is red, we're the same human beings as what human beings were 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 years ago. Nothing has changed. The anatomy of our mind has not changed. So even though we may think we're all sophisticated. So understand the subconscious mind reflects outwardly what is in it. So whatever you see around yourself, you know, I remember telling somebody about the subconscious mind a long time ago, and he asked me, so how can I tell what's in my subconscious mind? I said, well, look around what's in your life. Everything that's in your life is what's in your subconscious mind. Somehow, some way, directly or indirectly, it got into it. It could be through a film you watched, a documentary you watched, soaps you watched, watching the negative news, a family member that you saw, someone else's family member, something that you've seen over time has put these certain messages in your mind that is, and over time, some of it has got through the barrier over time, and then it's landed in the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has now then drawn a conclusion based on this information and said, okay, this means that. So this means his life should, or the person's life we're talking about, my owner's life should be like this. And you might be saying in the country, no, I don't want that to happen for myself. Well, too bad. It's got you, the message has got there. You know, if you don't want the message to get there, you shouldn't be observing or watching things that will put the message there. So if you want, you know, okay, how can I make my life the way I want it to be? Well, then you have to start looking at things that are the way your life that you wants to be. Okay, and we're going to cover that in a minute. That's what, you know, the materials down below this video will help you achieve that. But again, we have to know how to apply them, what dosage, and so on and so forth, because that's another hurdle what many people fall who don't understand how the mind works. So, so we talked about the subconscious mind. We talked about, so this is what attracts the level of wealth. Now, there are many different areas in the subconscious mind that control different aspects of your life. It's not just all about money, okay? You know, these are like programs. You have a program 1, program 2, program 3, all running like a CD. It's not a CD. You don't have any CDs in your head, but I'm just using that as an example. CD, you know, CD number 1, CD number 2, all playing simultaneously. They cover different subjects. You have 7 main CDs, okay? Some of them have sub-CDs. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? Programs in you, okay? General program, and what is that? So you have a program for success, programs in mind. Okay, so for success, you have one for success, you have one for wisdom. Then you have one for health. Then you have one for wealth. Then you have one for protection. Then you have one for, say, love and relationships. Love and relationships. Then you have one for spirituality. Okay, so you have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 main CDs, and there are some subsections. Today I'm talking about wealth, okay? But we have all of them, and a person is well developed who has developed all of these. And that is really your goal in life, to develop all of this so you can become a well-rounded individual. I'm not talking about in shape, body shape, I'm talking about in personality. Okay, you can master all of these areas, you will have a wonderful life. And that's what that's the mission. And a lot of people ask, you know, what's the mission? Why were we put on this earth? To develop all of these areas. Now, some people have, as you can see, have some developed as opposed to others. Like you see, some people have wealth development. You think, oh, they're rich and they're wonderful, they've got it all figured out. No, they haven't got it all figured out. They've got the wealth part maybe figured out, but There are many. How many people do you know who are wealthy that have a terrible health? Their health is terrible. Okay. There are some people who don't have protection triggers, so they're always accident prone. They're always having accidents and bumping into things and having accidents and being attacked or things like that. That means there's a problem with their protection CD. Some people could have lots of money but terrible love. Let me just make this bigger. Ooh, bigger. Yeah, so they have terrible relationships. You know, some people have spirituality but no money. You know, so there's all different kinds of things. Some are very clever. Some are very good at career-wise. You know, but they have terrible. You know, so some have three out of 7. Some have 2 out of 7. Some people have all 7. Some people have 6 out of 7. Some people have 1 out of 7. Some people maybe have none. I don't know, but everyone's got something to an extent. Somebody have got a wonderful relationship, but you know, finances are a problem. You know, so it's different for people. Our job really, and it's not there's a scope of this discussion to talk about developing all of them. I'm talking at the moment about this wealth. That's what we're talking about today. But the same technique applies to all of them. Please understand. So, you know, we've all got a lot of work to do on ourselves of self-improvement. So, you know, the biggest room in the world is the room for self-improvement. Okay. But it works with the same principle. What is in the subconscious mind is what reflects outwardly in your life. So we need to control what goes into our subconscious mind. And if we don't like what's in our subconscious mind, we can consciously input new information, which over time will begin, you know, to penetrate the subconscious mind. Forgive these drawings, controlling the mouse and this arrow. Anyway. But you know what I'm trying to say. That is the whole purpose. When eventually, it takes time because a lot of stuff will come to this barrier and bounce off, and it won't get to the subconscious mind. Okay, so some things will, like, you know, come here and do a U-turn, bounce off because you can't get through the barrier, or they've only haven't been said enough times. That's meant to be an hour, by the way. But anyway, so yeah. Again, you know, using this wonderful picture here. This is your conscious mind. If this was sideways, you know, you could kind of say, but anyway, icebergs are not sideways. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, the water level here, that's the barrier. You understand? And things that come in here, we need to get them here. Well, many things get here eventually. Okay. And what we talk about here, you know, habits over periods of times, 5, 10 years. Mostly where you are today is a result of what's happened over the last 5 years in your life. Most of the things, okay? So somebody could be, you know, have a terrible upbringing, okay, very rough upbringing, things didn't go the way they wanted. But when they got to 20, they sorted things out and they got into a great life. So, and then maybe from 20 to, if you're 30 years old, maybe from when you were 25 to 30, most of what be happening in your life is what happened to you over the last 5 years. So you can change things that have happened to you since you were born. Now, here's the thing, and I like to I'll use an example, a couple of examples from holy books, and this is not from a religious perspective. This is a fact, and it just supports this point. I mean, it's said in many holy books that we're created in the image and likeness of God. Some say the spark of God, some say we're a spark of God. God has given us this equipment, the universal mind, the supreme creator, the Allah, Jehovah, whatever you want to call it. It's totally up, the universal mind, you know, the great universe, the great spirit. There are many different names for it. We are created in that image. And in other words, we have similar characteristics spiritually in terms of our spiritual power. Problem if we don't use it. Okay, so that's number one thing. We're designed by you know, an exceptional universal intelligence which we can't comprehend, but the blueprint is here and it operates by certain laws. Now I'll give you an example of it being a couple of examples of when it's mentioned, when it and so on. I'm going to take the Christian Bible, just use it as a point of reference here. In the Genesis, I don't know where exactly, but it just say man was created in the image and likeness. And that, people don't understand what that means. That means man is a limitless creature, has incredible, mankind, I mean, not man. Mankind has a limitless potential, unlimited potential. But a great example is the story of the man called Abraham. And it's a great story. And it illustrates, there's a part of it that illustrates this rule, this law. First of all, in terms of laws, the universe is built on many, 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 many different laws. And order is the first law of heaven. Order is the first law of the spiritual world. Order is very, very important. The spiritual world, the universe, is designed on order. So these laws are basically immutable. But here's an example. I'll use an example of the Abraham example. Now, before Abraham's name was called Abraham, it was called Abraham. Now, again, I'm not a scholar. Can't even pronounce it properly. Abram, or something like that. Now, this was a gentleman who was in his 80s, shall we say, childless, no children, and he was very frustrated. Wife was barren, didn't have any children, obviously wanted to have some heirs, and was very, very frustrated. And the Almighty could see his frustration. So this happened for some time, and the Almighty kind of reached out to him and said, you can see he's frustrated, and so on and so forth. I'm not recounting this word for word, by the way. Like I said, I'm not a scholar. I'm just explaining the concept of the story and what the reason why this is so powerful. But basically what happened is that, through divine communication, it was indicated that he would, that he wanted a child, and he wanted to have his own child with his wife, and he couldn't. So it's like the Supreme Creator decided, look, I've got to help this guy. Yes, you're going to get a child. Okay, in about a year from now, this time next year, you're going to have a child. But, in order for me to help you, you have to help yourself. I'm going to show you how to do it, because I can't just help you. And this is an interesting thing, because some people have this concept so wrong about, if God, this thing about God, and well, why didn't God just click his fingers and correct it? No, God had to make him, the Supreme Creator had to make him go according to the law. Okay, this law I'm talking about. So what did he do? He first of all, he said, look, I've got to help this guy. I probably didn't say those words, I've got to help this guy. I'm just using an example. And say, hey, he got him to change his name, what he says. So his name was Abram or something like that. He's called him, he said, your name is now called Abraham. Okay, the father of many nations. So forget about the word Abraham. It actually meant the father of many nations. But in our language, it would say, it's almost say, your name is now the father of many nations. Let's say we're speaking English now. The name is father of many nations. So he had to now start saying verbally, hello, I'm the father of many nations. I'm the father of many nations. Imagine going around in those times, greeting people and saying, hi, I'm the father of many nations. I'm the father of many nations. I'm the father of many nations. Hi, how are you doing? Pleased to meet you. I'm the father of many nations. Number one, people must have thought he was absolutely loony. First of all, we know you're not the father of many nations. Your name is Abram, and you haven't even got a child yet. How can you be the father of many nations? Yet alone the father of many nations. But he had to keep doing it regardless. So understand one thing, if you want to change something, you have to start changing what you say, regardless of your circumstance. Even though your circumstance isn't that way yet, you have to start saying it. Okay? Say what you want, not what you've got. Too many people say what they've got. Say what you want, not what you've got. Actually, I should write that down, actually. Say what you want, not what you've got. Okay. Okay. Any person can say what they've got. Okay. And that is the reason why we say, I am wealthy and rich. You must start saying it. So anyway, let's go back to the story. Where's my thing? So he started telling him to say, I'm the father of many nations. I'm the father of many nations. So he had to start saying it, introducing himself. My wife must have thought he was a bit crazy as well. Well, by the way, don't call me, what do you call it anymore? Call me, I'm the father of many nations. And that had to be his life. He had to start saying it. And he must have said it countless times. And then he gave him rule number 2. So number 1, what you say is one of the things that changes your subconscious mind. Number 2, what you see. So the Supreme Creator gave him a second exercise to do. And he told him to go out at night and look up at the stars. And in those days, in those days, way back, there's no light pollution and all that stuff. You probably had lovely clear clear skies at night. So you probably would have saw, billions and billions of stars. And the Creator told him to look at those stars and to visualize them being his descendants, saying that as much, so as much stars as you can see, so shall your descendants, the number of your descendants be. So he got him visualizing the goal and verbalizing the goal. I'm the father of many nations, and bang, look at that vision up there. Okay, all these kids are going to be descended from me. Okay, and he did it over and over and over and again for months and months and months, and his wife eventually had a child. It was quite miraculous. And today, Abraham, the father of many nations, is the father of many nations, and there were billions descendant from the father, from him. So that's what. Understand that the Almighty Creator could have just said, well, after all, I am God. Let me just click my fingers. You don't have to do any comply with the law. I'm God after all. Yeah, I'll just do that. No. Even the Supreme Creator had to make Abraham comply with the law. He couldn't bring this miracle, so to speak, into fruition without applying to the law. There's a law, and there's a reason why it's called a law, okay? Because it's immutable, that's a law. So this is a law. Unless you get this under control, get what you want in your subconscious mind, you will never have it. It's the blunt thing. So you need to get it in there. However you get it in there, whether it be verbalization, visualization, seeing what you want, that principle is there. In the book of Matthew, it talks of accounts, or there's a statement somewhere, I don't know where it says, but it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And man doesn't mean man, it means as a person thinks in their heart. And what the heart has nothing to do with the organ that beats in your chest. We're talking about the inner recesses of your mind. As you think in your subconscious mind, so you will be, okay? As you think down here, the subconscious mind, so you, not as you think here. That's where a lot of people concentrate on trying to think, oh yeah, I'm positive. Yeah, I'm rich, I'm doing good. I'm going places. You're only talking here. And that doesn't do anything. It doesn't get you anywhere. And time shows that it doesn't get anywhere. But when it's down here, that is non-verbal. That is down here. And trust me, you'll move as if something's pushing you to get to. It would be so effortless to get to that level because you've got this working for you as opposed to that. Okay, and trust me, this is just an example of an iceberg. There's another iceberg here. The subconscious mind is much bigger than this. This is just, a little representation, but it's much bigger, much more powerful. So whatever challenges you've got, if you can feed the solutions into your subconscious mind, you will get an answer and you'll get a way to overcome them. So explaining that and using those examples, again, these are just reference to holy books. It's nothing to do with religion. This will happen whether you believe in them or not. It's irrelevant. It's a law, and you have a mind, you have a conscious and a subconscious mind, and whatever you put there, whatever you believe in a religion or not, it will happen. That's just because it's a law. Now, how do we put things in our mind? Now, there have been many techniques that I've studied over the years, and some of them have been practical, some of them have been impractical. And there are many different books and courses and so on that are bought and that people have offered and people have created. And I find a lot of people don't get much success with them because sometimes the techniques are not easy to apply, or they're not straightforward, or they can't apply them regularly. Now, please understand how the mind works. Please understand your subconscious mind works 24/7. Okay? Okay? 24/7. Your subconscious mind, it works 24/7. Add 365 days a year. Okay? It doesn't take New Year's off. It doesn't take Christmas off. It doesn't take bank holidays off. It doesn't take a Tuesday off. It works consistently. Okay? And that's there lies the key. Before we get to, we won't get to that part in a minute. So the key is here. We need, if you want to develop wealth and prosperity, you have to feed wealth and prosperity ideas into your subconscious mind on a continuous basis. Okay? And the way you do that, again, is through the 5 senses. The 3 main senses. The 3 main senses are what you look at, what you say, and what you hear. Those are 3 main senses. You can use other senses as well, and they help as well. And you can, and there's places where you can go and do those. So you want to look at nice homes. You want to look at nice cars. You want to look at nice furniture. You want to look at nice resorts. You want to look at nice jewelry. You want to look at wealth. You want to look at money. You want to look at these things regularly. And then you want to visualize yourself owning these, but you want to look at them. And so you really understand them. Your mind starts to see wealth and prosperity and get used to it. You want to then use the right words that, again, your subconscious mind might get these images, but if they're paired with the right words, then you kind of understand what you mean about these images. Okay? So you've got to use the right words that explain how you relate to these images. Okay, and these words are called images. Well, sorry, wealthy. So we're talking about wealth, remember here, wealthy, and the same applies to the others, by the way. Wealthy, wealth, and riches, is it riches? Images, and words. Okay, and now these words that you say are called affirmations. Affirmations. Okay. Now they have to be correctly constructed, not just any old thing. Okay, they have to be correctly constructed, otherwise it will give the wrong message to your mind. Where is this gone? I'm looking for this. Right, they have to be correctly constructed, these words, which will give the wrong message to your mind. So basically, most people, use the word certain wrong. They say, I will be successful, I will be wealthy, I will be rich. I remember explaining this to somebody and they said, oh, so you mean to say I've got to speak positive? I said, that's correct. You've got to speak positive more than you speak negative. And so you go, so you mean to say, I will be rich, I will be rich, I will be rich, I will be successful, I will be successful, I will be successful, I'm going to be successful. I said, no, that's wrong. He said, what's wrong with that? It sounds positive to me. Yeah, to him. I said, yeah, it's completely wrong. Why is it wrong? You have to speak. The key word, magic word is, because if you use the wrong word, you get, and the subconscious mind has no mercy. You should give it the wrong information, it would just carry it out. Say, your wish is my command. You will be wealthy. So it always puts you in a state of trying to run after something, and never achieving it. So you need to use the word I am. Okay? Wealthy. Wealthy, wealthy, wealthy. Okay? I am rich. Okay. You're stating it in the present tense. I am successful. Okay. I am. And that's why now you understand the meaning of our organization. Okay. I am wealthy and rich. All right. That's what we're talking. I'm not talking about me. I am talking about me. I am wealthy and rich. And I have to say that. Whether the bank account reflects it or not, I still have to say that. You know, another great example of this thing from the holy books, what in real life, one of the person who used this really well, which annoyed a lot of people because they didn't understand it, but too bad, was a famous boxer. And he used to say the words, I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. And you all know who that is. If you don't, Google it, okay? But he became known as the greatest, and he was incredible. And when he was saying, I am the greatest, it used to annoy half of the people. It would annoy them. Half of the people loved him for saying it. Half of the people hated him for saying it. Some people called him a braggart, and someone, look at that braggart. Who does he think he is? Well, let me tell you something. He wasn't talking to you. He was talking to himself. Okay? He was talking to himself. So you need to talk to yourself, and I am wealthy and rich. Okay? Talking to yourself. So it's called self-talk, and there are different kinds of self-talk, but it has to be in the framework of the I am and not I will be, because that means one day, you know, one day you're always trying to pursue it. You'll never get in there. So you've got to be very careful on the words you use. Now, so the affirmations are constructed around, most of them are constructed around the I am. Now, I am is actually a spiritual part, which I'm not going to get into. It's just extremely powerful to use. But it's, again, the reference to it in the holy books as well, but we won't get into that. But I am wealthy, I am rich, and there are many, many different words you actually have to use to really attack the subconscious mind in many different angles. Where's this thing done? When you use I am, a wide variety of I am positive affirmations, because some of them will your subconscious, basically in most people's mind, they've got, you know, basically I am poor written in their subconscious mind, or I am broke, or I am struggling. And that is the reason why, and I'm not, you know, I am wealthy and rich. See, I'm just trying to reverse that. That's the reason why they are. So they need to, you know, I hate money. Most people hate money. They think, oh, and consciously, I'd love to be rich. I want money. Yeah, I love money. But deep inside, they may have something inside their subconscious mind that is resentful or fear of money. Oh, if I get money, I might get attacked, or I might get victimized, or I might get, people won't like me, or money is the root of all evil. There's some of this misinterpretation that they got from, again, from holy books. So much misinterpretation that's been woven into the fabric of people's mind. And they wonder why they have a problem with money. Okay, money is an energy, okay, from the divine, and you are connected to that energy. Okay, you don't hate an energy coming from any kind of energy coming from the divine. Well, that's another topic we'll talk about later. But money is energy, by the way. Everything's energy, but money is energy. You know, and money is the root of joy and happiness. So you overwrite those statements. Okay, if you have a problem with money, you will always repel it. Okay, the wealthy people don't have anyone who's wealthy doesn't have a problem with money. So, but there are many statements in the affirmation set that you're going to be given below that some of them you may agree with, some of them you may not agree with. It doesn't matter. Do them anyway. Okay, it's not about what you agree with and what you don't agree with. Okay, if you have a problem, you need it to be fixed. Okay, and by people who know better in this area. Okay, you're not the expert in this area, obviously you wouldn't be here. So take it on board. If the doctor's prescribed some, you don't say, oh, well, I don't think this tablet is right, and this, it's not for you to do. He's the qualified person, not yourself. Or she's the qualified person, doctor, not yourself. And so a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll do this bit and not that bit. If you do that, you'll just mess it up and you won't get the full result, and then you'll start complaining the whole program's not working for you. You do everything that's suggested. Whether you initially agree with it or not, just do it. Eventually you will agree with it and it will start to take effect. So you basically need to see things. And in the old days, in terms of see things, all we had is magazines to look at, and maybe some cassette tapes, and we maybe said a few things, a few words. It worked for some people. It didn't really work for me. I never was told how many times to say it, how much to say it, and so on and so forth. So, so we're getting on to that part. As I talk, how the subconscious mind works. How do you actually reprogram the subconscious mind? So with what? We program it with images and words and things that you say, things that you see, things that you read, things that you say that comes out of your mouth, things that you see. And then you can program it by actually going into an environment. So you visit a show home and sit there and read. Like that means now you've got all your 5 senses completely all absorbed in that experience. You know, go and test drive a car and drive a Mercedes-Benz, and you smell the leather or whatever car you want, Range Rover or whatever. Drive a beautiful car and smell that leather and feel it. And that you're getting all your senses involved there. Get at least 2 or 3, at least 3 senses involved, you'll do the job. But you get all 5 senses, even better. And that's what happens. Once you actually start to live in that area, you're then doing that exercise 24/7 without even knowing it. So you will hardly ever go back. But that's another topic. But so we've covered that idea. Now that we've covered, you know, the various things to say. And so we have things that you'll be saying on the downloads below, and that positive affirmation that you're going to use. But let's explain how to apply it, because this material is available anywhere on the internet. But most people don't know how to put it together, how to apply it to get results. And I know that because I've spoken to a lot of people who have listened to it, you know, once or twice, and they don't understand why they're not getting results. Now, again, we talked about the subconscious mind. It works 24/7. Your conscious mind doesn't work 24/7. Your conscious mind works about 8 to 12 hours a day or whatever day you go to sleep. But your subconscious mind works 24/7, no days off, no anything off. And if your subconscious mind is programmed against you, not giving you what you want, which means it's programmed against you, it's your enemy at the moment. Okay? Now you want to think about this. Really logic. And this is the reason why people fail in the personal development change, transformational change. There are some advanced methods of programming your subconscious mind. There's some advanced methods, okay, but they can't be done by everybody. But so I'm using this as the simplest, most basic, easiest way to program your subconscious mind, because it can be done by everybody. So I know there are some more advanced techniques that are faster, that are more powerful, but most people can't even apply them anyway, and they can't apply them consistently. And I wanted to create something that is the lowest common denominator anybody can do. So there's no excuse. So, okay. Here's what, when the penny dropped for me, excuse me, when the penny dropped for me, and when I understood how the subconscious mind, how to get it to work, that's when things changed for me. Here's the thing, and this is, you know, a lot of these gurus and great teachers out there, they miss a point here. They miss a point, and it's, you know, get a little bit upset and frustrated sometimes about this, because a lot of people don't get results because of this mini thing. Your subconscious mind works 24/7, 365 days a year. I've said that. It's constantly working. So what they do in their thing, they give you an exercise to do. Some of the ones that they give, they have an exercise to do 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, and you'll see changes. Whoopee. And most 99% of people don't. 1% do, 2% do maybe, 3% do, but 99%, 98% of people don't. I just want to point out something before I even continue. I should have said this earlier. I do want to mention this. In terms of the wealth, I'm going to come back to this in a minute. Wealth accumulation. The world is divided into, you've got the 1%. Where's that going? 1%, 4%. Where's it gone? Percent. And then you've got basically 95%. Okay, so, you know, this kind of equals 5%. 5%. 1% wealthy. Okay. 4% are financially independent. Right? That's what happens in life. Okay. Out of the 5%, 1% are wealthy, 4% are financially independent, which means, you know, they've done okay. You know, they've done pretty well financially. And they've, you know, got the house they want, the cars they want, they've got good money. They're doing good. 1% are really wealthy. The 95% tend to struggle financially for the basics. Okay. And that's what happens the world over. Okay, and it's because only 5% of people, some people say it's 4%, you know, some people say it's 1% and narrow this down to 3%. Doesn't really matter. It's, you know, the key is only less than 5% or less ain't ever figure out the money game. They figure out what money is about, how to play the game of money and play it well, how to understand the game of money and play it well. And 95% don't have a clue. They wish, they play the lot, they buy lottery tickets and things like that because they think that's the only way they can do it. And they wait for a rich relative to die so they can take the inheritance. That, you know, that's not, you know, that's not really how to become wealthy. You want to become wealthy on the inside, in your subconscious mind. When we say on the inside, where is it? Thing gone. Yeah, you want to become wealthy in here. You know, a famous motivational speaker once said, you know, if somebody gives you $1 million, well, you better become a millionaire. Okay, because otherwise you'll lose it. If somebody gives you $1 million, that means you need to become a millionaire in here. This needs to be filled with multi-millionaire thoughts processes. And understand one thing, you can't work too hard to overcome a negative thought process. You can't, I say it again, you can't work too hard to overcome a negative thought process. So this is where we've got to work at. Now, this is what, now understand, like I said, this never sleeps, this works 24/7. So if they tell you to do an exercise, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes, that means you devoted 1 hour towards your personal development. Some even say 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, but let's just say, let's use 1 hour. Even if they said 1 hour, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, not many people can do that. They've got to go to work, they've got kids, they've got all kinds of stuff, responsibilities and so on. It's not easy in this Western world, the way people live. But the subconscious mind doesn't care. Please understand, it doesn't care. There's no excuses, doesn't care. If you only apply 1 hour, okay, 1 hour, how do you spell hour? 1H, 1 hour of personal development in, and this thing has got 23 hours over you. It's meant to be 23, by the way. Okay, it's not a fair fight. It's working. So you devoted 1 hour of personal development to try and overcome this subconscious mind that is keeping you where you don't want to be, and you think that's enough. But it's now got 23 hours on you. So it's not a fair fight. This is where the penny dropped for me, when I really understood what mistakes I've been making all these years, applying 1 hour. Because it's not a fair fight. I mean, think about a job. If you want to earn a full-time living, you've got to work 8 hours a day. You had a full-time living, 12 hours to earn a full-time living. If you worked just 1 hour, you wouldn't make much of a living, would you? In a job, I'm saying, if they paid you per hour. Wouldn't make much of a living with 1 hour. Somebody was working, you know, versus someone who's working 12 hours in the same thing. So, and this is not about jobs, I'm just using an example. So what I'm trying to say, you need to be doing your personal development at least 8 hours to 12 hours a day. If you're doing it 12, now it's an even fight. It's not an even fight when something is working against you 23 hours a day as opposed to your 1 hour. You could even up more if you can do 8 hours, that's great. If you can do 12 hours, now it's 50-50. You've got a chance of beating it down. You understand? You don't stand a chance with 1 hour. You don't stand a chance. And most people who do these courses don't stand a chance of improvement. And that's the reason why majority of them fail. Not the course that was bad, but the application is not realistic with what needs to be done. Do you want to change something and you do, so, and your life, everything in life is in you. You know, your subconscious mind does a lot of things in your body. You know, it regulates your heartbeat, it runs your heart, it regulates your breathing. If that was, because it works 24/7, if you were in charge of your heartbeat or your breathing, you'd probably die because you wouldn't do it enough. You take a day off, you take a break. If you took 10 minutes break of your breathing, you'd die. Okay, the subconscious mind doesn't take a break. Thank God. It's a very, very good servant in those regards. Consistent, consistent, consistent. Making up, you know, and I think, what is it? I can't remember which way it's around. The subconscious mind that you breathe, I think you breathe, your heart beats 100,000 times a day. You breathe about 20,000 times a day. That shows the consistency. 100,000 times a day, your heart beats. How many times is that in a week? How many times is that in a month? Countless, countless, countless times. How many times is that a year? That's all the different thoughts, impressions. You have to have hundreds of thousands of thought impressions into your mind to change it. Not 6 or 10 or 15. Some people think, oh, I've said it 20 times is enough. 20 times is nothing. It's not, so would you accept if your heart just beat 20 times? You'd be dead. So you need to understand the scale of the task at hand. Okay, so some of you might be saying, oh, well, I don't know, I can be doing 8 hours of personal development. You know, I've got my job, I've got my kids, I've got family, I've got other obligations. I understand. And that's why we developed this technique to make it easy. This technique I'm going to show you on the application, make it easy for anyone to do it. Okay, so here's the thing. These videos, there are videos below that you're going to download and use. And you want to download them onto your phone, you want to download them into your computer, and you want to play them. Now, there's 2 ways to play them, to use them. Okay, let's go. Okay, so the affirmation videos. Okay, down below you'll probably see that there's a 30-minute one, 30-minute, and an 8-hour one. Now these are readily on the internet, but you know, if you watch them on the internet, you get interrupted with ads and all that stuff, and it's nothing worse than when you're in the zone being interrupted with ads. Not that I've got anything against ads, but so I you know, with us, you know, you can download the actual MP4 file and play it on the actual video for play it, so it's ad free. Now, there's 2 ways to listen to it. There's what we call active listening, and passive listening. Okay, so in the active listening, I would suggest you do about at least 2 hours a day. Okay, and what is active listening? Active listening is actually when you actually have it on your phone, on the television. You know, smartphones now can connect to the telly, or your laptop can connect to the television. You've got a bigger screen, and but if not, just your phone. You hold it in front of your phone and you watch it. Okay, you read what is in what it says. So you look at the pictures, you make impressions on your mind. You read what is written in there, the affirmation statement, and you repeat the affirmation as they say it in the audio part. So as they verbalize it, you verbalize it. Okay, and you need to do that for an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. Okay, 1 hour, that's what you want to aim for. 1 hour morning and evening. That means you've got 2 hours in. So when you wake up in the morning, ideally when you wake up in the morning, you want to do an hour. And when you go, before you go to bed, you want to do an hour. Passive, active listening, okay? Watching it, reading it, and saying it. You do that, okay, it will start to break down through this barrier. And those messages will start to go in, not at first, not the first week or the first day or the first month even. You have to do it consistently for many months, consistently, okay, for a year. You know, after 6 months, you probably start seeing some results. You know, even after 3 months, you'll start seeing results, but within 6 months, you'll start seeing results. But it has to be part of your daily life, a habit. Now, by the way, every successful wealthy person says positive affirmations to themselves, knowingly or unknowingly. Every successful wealthy person who's wealthy has applied this take knowingly or unknowingly. Some of them weren't formally sat down and said, you should do this, this, and that. They just did it out of habit, or they did it by observing unknowingly. I've sat down with many wealthy people and talked to them, and they said, yeah, I do that. Exactly. I've never met a successful person who doesn't do it. But anyway, now, passive listening, you do during the rest of the day, or night. And what we mean by passive listening is this. You know, we talked about that you want to get up these 8 to 12 hours, okay? 8 to 12 hours, all right? A day, at least. If you can get 16 hours, is even better. The more you fight this thing, the more it will change. So it's not how little can I do. You should be asking, how much can I do? How much can I do? Not how little. Okay, most people, if you don't want to change, then you'll be looking for the little way, the cheap, easy way out. Little. If you really want to change, you'll be saying, how much can I do? So let me give you an example of passive listening. And this is where you'll get most of your time in. Okay. 6, I would say, to 14 hours. Number one, the biggest time waster, sleep. Okay, you can get, I don't know how long you sleep for, 6 to 8 hours, right there. In other words, you put it down on low, not loud, low, on your phone. That's why I put it on my phone. I put it on low volume. I can still hear it faintly when I go to sleep. I've been doing that for over a year. That gives me 6 to 8 hours straight away. Okay, because there's 24 hours. You know, this subconscious is fighting us. Okay, 24/7. Okay, so I think the first part you can get 8 hours there, plus your 2 hours in the morning. That's 10 hours, right? Then all the rest of the time, when you're doing other things, when you're driving, let's type here. When you're driving, okay? When you're walking, you put it in your headphones. Put your headphones in and play it. Okay, when you're walking, when you're shopping, okay? And even from out with your partner, I have one ear in. I put one ear in my ears. The other ear's free. I've got it in, and I turn it down. It's a bit faint, not that it's completely off. It's going in the background while I'm talking. So I'm taking every opportunity. And I'll tell you what, even when I'm watching, and this might be excessive for some people, but I wanted change real bad. I wanted change. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. You may not be at that level. If you're at that level and you want to change, I take opportunity. So I'm watching movies. When I'm watching a movie, I put it in one ear, turned down low, and the other, I've got the other ear. Thank God we've got 2 ears, and I'm watching the movie. And after a while, I don't hear it anymore in that ear. I don't hear it in that ear at all. But I know the movie's 2 hours. I've just got 2 hours in. You see, people say that I haven't got time. People have all kinds of time, all sorts of time. They just squander their time. Okay, there's all kinds of times you can be productive or even semi-productive in changing this thing. So you can get 12 hours in at least every day. If you do that, these eventually messages will get into the subconscious mind, and you will be fighting it. on an even fight. It's still going to be fighting you 12 hours, right? And then it's meant to be 12 hours, but you're fighting it 12 hours. Now that's called an even fight. You understand? 1 hour, 23 hours is not an even fight. It's like if you're taking a big 7-foot man to go and fight, you know, a 5'9" person. It's not an even fight. Okay, so you need to even the score if you want to overcome this. Even the score, so you're beaten at his own game. Eventually, more of this will go into it, and then it will be even easier. It will start working for you. Won't be working against you. It will be working for you. Then it'll be 12-12. Then it'll be 24-24. Thinking, when you think of 24-24, 24/7, 24/7, thinking that way, your life will transform beyond what you can imagine. But unless you get the messages in here, new messages in the subconscious mind, your life will never change. Now, if you do that and you combine that with the wealth strategy or the investing strategy that we've got, you will make money easily and effortlessly. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. That's one of the affirmations in there. And I look at, you know, when I'm talking, I feel money does come to me easily and effortlessly. But that's what I've been programming in for the last year, over a year now. Okay, just a little over a year. Consistently, I have not missed a day. I don't care what the time is. If we go out and we came back late, we're not going to bed until I've done my 1 hour. Where is it? My 1 hour in the evening. I'm not going to bed until I've done it. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. If I came back at 2, I don't care. I'm not taking any prisoners. Now, you may not be as aggressive about it as, you know, as I am. It's totally your choice. I'm just telling you exactly what to do, and the doses you need to be intense, because life is, you know, life is there's so many things to achieve out there. To spend time being broke, okay? And so if you don't address it, it will remain unaddressed. So this is what I'm going to say and explain to you. We've got to, you know, program our mind. The mind is like an iceberg. You've got the tips, the top here, the conscious mind, the unconscious mind here. This is where all the power is. There's a barrier here, just like you can see the sea level. And you've got to get your messages, the right messages in the right way into the subconscious mind. One of the easiest way is to play these affirmation videos you know, passively and actively. Listen to them passively and actively, and you will eventually see change. Okay, so there are some couple below. I'll be adding more, depending on if you're in the other team, the other group, shall we say, the other group, there might be an upgrade or something. You may see some additional added. You know, we've added a couple here to get you started, and that's all you need. You don't need any more. Now, we have other ones that, for those who decide to get to the upgrade, that they will be able to get other ones, and some of them are entertaining. You can even dance to them and so on. It's all good stuff. You need to put good stuff up here, good stuff up here, good stuff out. That's what it is in the end of the day. So I hope, you know, you've understood my wonderful, amazing drawing here, fine art. And I hope it's made sense to you. Just, you know, you've got it. This is what's really just transformed my life. Okay, because I knew about this. I knew about the theory of it. It's got to be in the subconscious mind. You've got to speak positively. You've got to reprogram yourself. You've got to use positive self-talk. I knew all of this. I didn't know how to apply it. I didn't know in what dosage I need to apply it. You understand? I didn't know that. I just thought 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening was enough. Well, obviously, evidently it wasn't. But being more aggressive and really adding more hours to it, the sleep, I mean, every night it goes, and make sure my phone is plugged in so it doesn't go off. You know, you don't start it with your phones on 1% and just, you know, leave it, of course your phone's going to go off. And the 8-hour one is long enough to leave on all the way. But like I said, find what works for you best. You do need to put the hours in. And after a while, things will start to change. But I'm not going to stop it, even though things have changed. I'm going to do it for years because you can't work too hard to overcome a negative thought process. So when you've done that, things will begin to change, life will become easier. And then after a while, you can learn to work on other areas, you know, but this particular topic is out of the scope of what we're talking about here, has to do with your wealth. You know, health is important and so on. We have one for health, actually. We might put that in the next level one. But work on the wealth one first. That's the most important. And we could have programs for other ones in future. But the basic, it's the simplest strategy you can do, because all you have to do is press play. Anyone can press play. You don't have to stand on your head and hold one on one arm, stand, you know, do a handstand with blocking one nostril and breathe, you know, hold your breath for 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be so complicated that nobody can do it. All you have to do is just press play. Anybody can press play. Okay, just download it and press play. Okay, and I've had some people get into it very slowly. Some people get into it immediately, like me, really aggressive. Some people take their good sweet time to get into it. Okay, I've had, you know, for example, an example, one person I gave it to, and I spoke to him a week later. I said, have you done it? Have you started listening to it? He said, once. I think it's once or twice. I said, okay. So he played it once. The next week we spoke again. Spoke to him. He said, yeah, he played it. You know, he said it's a bit boring just watching it over again. I said, yeah, but that's what you have to do. It's not a matter of whether it's boring. It's whether how much do you want change, that you need to do whatever it takes. If it means watching something that's boring, then go ahead. Repetition is the mother, is the key here. Repetition is the key. Okay. So after a while, after a couple, third week, he said, well, he's listened to about 5 times. Okay, cool. And then I started explaining to him what it was saying, because he wasn't taking the words, and he certainly wasn't doing active. He was doing the passive, because you know, he doesn't want to. In the beginning, he actually didn't want to do it at all. He was saying that, oh, I like to listen to the radio and stuff like that. Just interrupting, you know. And even when I was explaining to him, he said, oh, what, do you want me to listen to it right start now? I mean, can't I just wait a week to think about it? You know? So he's come such a long way. And now I'm talking to him, and he's saying that, oh, I listen to it every day. He plays it every day. He said, it's easy. All you have to do is just press the play. You understand? I said, now you're getting it, okay? Just press play. Leaves it on the background and plays it all night, okay? Some people take some weeks to get into it. Some people get into it, I want to start right now. Well, it's all up to you. It's nothing to do with me. I'm just showing you the way. How you apply it's up to you, okay? You know, I am applying it for me and my family, my you know, legacy. You apply it for you and your family. If you want to take all year about it, it's up to you, okay? But this is the technique, a very simple technique that I believe anyone can do. We've all got smartphones and laptops and so on. You know, and we can, very simple technique to reprogram our mind over time without, you know, any rigorous, strenuous kind of exercises, okay? And then, like I said, you after a while, couple it with actual real life experiences. Go and visit some show homes and so on. Play it in the car, play it when you're walking, play it when you're shopping. You know, one ear, you don't have to put both ears in so you can hear what's going on. But the fact that your subconscious mind is always listening. Where do we got that there? Always listening and learning. Never sleeps. Okay. It doesn't like change. So what will also happen is that it may start to send you, it will resist change again. It might say, oh, don't do it. I don't want to. It will try and give you ideas to make you stop. Just understand it's just trying to fight you against it, because you can realize you're changing. It doesn't like change, but eventually, if you continue, it will eventually give in and accept. So sometimes you may have to expect a little internal fight, so to speak. And it may give you silly suggestions that it thinks you might fall for, because it knows you. So it might say, oh, it's against your religion, or it's bad, it's brainwashing, it's this and that. And you might say, yeah, it is. Oh, I'm not going to do it. And it say, yeah, great. Leave me the way I am. But you need to understand, you're not getting away with it that easy. Okay, we know that trick number 57. We've seen that before. You just double down. Okay, you know, I'm going to do it in 4 hours. You dare, and eventually it will shut up. Eventually it will shut up, and it will listen, and it will absorb, and then it will start to obey. And when it starts to obey you, it will give you anything you want. Like I said, it's a fantastic servant, but a terrible master. So we're going to come to the end of this presentation. I think I've explained to you what you need to do and how you need to develop that wealth prosperity mindset. Remember, wealth is only one aspect of 7. Okay, wealth isn't everything, but it is important, very important. There's no cool ways about it. And other areas as well. And as we journey together, you become part of our community, especially the other memberships or other upgrades we have. We can maybe explore other areas, but for now, what we're concerned with is increasing your wealth. So I want to thank you very much for listening. I hope you found this useful, and do play it again. I know it's maybe long, but again, you can't talk too much about this subject, and there's a lot of information about this subject, and so I've really tried to condense it here. Okay, but do watch this. I would recommend watching this 2 or 3 times, even on a regular basis, to get more information from it, and then apply it and keep applying it and keep applying. Listen to the affirmations, and you will see change, because you are no different from me. You are human. You have a mind, you have a brain, you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. We all have the same thing. That's why it will work for everybody. So there's no one it won't work for. Okay, but the question is, see, people, will it work for you? Yes, it will work for you. Will you say yes, it will, but it depends on whether you're going to apply it. I can't control that. Only you can control whether you apply it. Okay, but it definitely worked for you, and I wish you the best. And that's why I love this, because anyone can, no matter how poor you are, some people are at 0, some people are below 0, and we need to use this technique just to bring them up to 0 first of all, before you can get to +5 and +10 and +15. Some people are already +50. That's great. But some people are at 0. Some people are -15, -75. We need to bring those guys up all the way to 0, then to the plus. It's a journey. Everyone starts from different places, but anyone can apply this. Okay, no matter what you are, whether you're a rich person or a poor person, doesn't matter. The same rules apply. Okay, so I wish you the very best, and I'm looking forward to hearing your success with this. Please let us know successes that you get. It really, warms my heart to hear people who have succeeded. We've had some people tremendous success over just 6 months. And I'm looking forward to hearing your success story. So this has been Henry Smith from IamWealthyAndRich.com. I am wealthy and rich. You are wealthy and rich. Okay, and don't you forget it. And yeah, what we're about is how to understand the game of money and play it well. I understand the game of money and play it well, and you eventually will understand the game of money and play it well. This is only half of the equation. The other half is the investment strategy. And they're simple ones. Investment strategies. Do look to the material below this video. Depending on what section of the website you're in, there should be something to either talking about a basic investment strategy, and you apply that, or like I said, also apply, listen to the other material down below, and just follow what the instructions say, and depending on what part of the website you're in. Okay, so I will look forward to working with you in future days. Wish you unlimited success, wisdom, health, wealth, protection, and love. And that's the end of this. Bye for now, everybody.